Well, welcome back to the airwaves. This time was my fault that we were gone, so
There's no blame,
apologies.
but it's your
all right.
fault.
It's my fault. Jesus, it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Has it been 3 weeks?
Oh,
I don't know. It's fucking it's been 3 weeks. But Christ sakes, all the good all the stuff I want to talk about now. I think this show's gonna be pretty good one.
is it? I remember nothing.
God damn it! I'm glad I took a semblance of notes.
I bought a notebook to start taking notes. I just didn't do it yet.
At least you're taking an initiative. I can at least applaud you for that.
Yeah, see? Notes. I just haven't.
Look at that, a notebook. Shit. Now we're getting somewhere.
I just, I did it when I was like, we missed the first week. I figured out what was going on. I was like, we're gonna be on a break for a little bit. I'll take notes. But then I waited till like 3 days ago to buy a notebook.
Awesome. Very nice. So in that time, we've gotten caught up on Siren, right? We have 3 episodes. 3 episodes of Terror. 3 episodes of the second season of Legion, finally. Did you get Westworld watched? The new?
No, not yet.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So we can talk about season 1.
But we'll at least talk about season 1. Did you watch Black Lightning?
No.
So we'll be pushing that to next week since Luke's an asshole.
We talked about
that. It's true. I told you to watch it, and then we were going on later.
No, I mean, you said hold it for Avengers next week.
You're right. But I thought you were at least going to watch West. What did you do then?
I went home and fell asleep.
That's fair. That's fair. Where'd you get the Pikachu pencil?
Hannah.
That's adorable. Look at you.
See, now I get to take notes of Pikachu.
And then theatrically, we watched Rampage, Blockers, and A Quiet Place, which I'm so upset that it took us 3 weeks to talk about this, because when we signed off last 3 weeks ago, I was like, I am so excited about Quiet Place, and we probably talked for a good 20 minutes about how much we've changed since starting the show. And I think with the introduction to Westworld into my life, I can definitely see where our likes and our the things that really captivate us are. So I'm pretty stoked on it all.
Well, I just want you to know that I've not changed at all. I've always had great taste and love good things.
That's fair. That's fair and accurate, I suppose. You were always the better one. So fucking, you want to just start
dragging you up to my level. That's all I'm doing. Trying to get you the week by week.
What's so funny is we'll get into this when we get into the Westworld talk, but I want to be at that level, but at the same time, there's stupid stuff that I'm still getting plenty of enjoyment out. So it's I'm cautiously getting up to that level, but
I still love dumb stuff, sometimes.
Yeah, but you like the really awful stuff.
Yeah, that's the best.
You're a bullshit artist.
No, I don't know. I didn't bring it up on the show, but a month ago or so, month and a half, I don't know. I definitely just had a Purge weekend where I was like, I've never seen a Purge movie. I'm watching all 3 of them over the weekend.
That sounds awful.
And you know what? Really decently okay movies. They are.
I've heard the first one's good, the second one's mediocre, and the third one's all right.
No, false. But sure. But yeah,
which one's the best one of them?
It was it wasn't the utter shit show I thought they would be, and I was like, oh, these movies actually have theme, which I was not expecting, and I was like, they hammer it home a little hard, but there's a theme here that I can write on, and that theme is white people suck and rich people suck. So
it's fair and accurate. Was it after we watched Strangers too?
It was after that time. It was maybe a week or two after that. I don't know, but it had been in the works. This was a plan.
I just imagine you like you getting a bath ready. You're so excited. Put Netflix on the computer next to you while you just soak in all of the Purge movies.
Yes, that was basically it.
That's ridiculous. I know you watched Isle of Dogs. Did you watch anything else like besides what we were watching for the show?
No, I actually didn't even go to anything this week because
interesting.
Fuck Super Troopers. I don't care about that. But
I kind of really want to see it, but I don't think it's going to get anywhere near me to see it. So.
Oh, it's like everywhere down here, and I'm like, go away. Shoot.
It's been out for 4 days, and you're just like, I can't handle it. Get out of here.
I am. No, I'm going. Hope is that I catch an indie tomorrow, and then I think this weekend another smaller one's opening I want to catch. So.
What are you catching tomorrow?
It's a movie called Flower.
I haven't heard of it, but it sounds interesting.
I know. And then I think Fleur should be getting You Were Never Really Here this weekend, and I really want to see that. So.
Who's that star? That sounds very familiar.
It's Joaquin Phoenix, and he's beating people with a hammer. Yeah.
Sounds interesting. I saw I Feel Pretty.
No, don't talk about this. Done.
It's really just a Shallow Hal, like a Shallow Hal movie from the vantage point of a chick.
Don't care. I don't like. Nope. Looks bad. Okay.
I mean, it was all right. It definitely don't go see it in theaters, but like a Netflix wouldn't be that bad. Wouldn't be that awful.
It just looked gross.
Yeah. I mean, in moderate. It's all right. I have a real like. I'm on the fence about Amy Schumer. Like, I don't know if I like her or I just don't give a shit. So it's like. I had to test the waters, and it's still at the same middle point that it's just like, it's whatever.
Oh, I guess to play like 7 Degrees of Separation or whatever, Amy Schumer was in Trainwreck, which I never watched, but Bill Hader's in it, and I've been watching Bill Hader's new HBO show. So
that's what I was going to ask you. Is Barry any good?
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah.
I really want to watch it. I'll probably get caught up at some point.
Yeah, like Hader's really good in it. But
is it worth discussing on the show, and should I get caught up?
You should get caught up. I don't know it's worth like discussing. It's a very simple, like, you know, he's a hitman, you know, got conned into it after leaving the military. He goes to LA to do a hit, follows the guy to an acting class, and ends up being like, maybe I want to be an actor. I don't want to kill anymore. I want to do something else. So he's trying to be an actor while killing people. Nice. So
interesting. I'll give it a check out. Did you watch Jean-Claude Van Damme show? The one on Amazon?
Hannah. I came home and Hannah was watching it one day. She was like,
I checked the queue. I was like, what the fuck?
No, she's like, this is really funny. You should watch it. And I said, yeah, sure. And I shut it off and put the terror on because the new episode was out.
Nice. So you played God of War all weekend?
Yeah.
Is it any good?
That's not true. I worked all weekend, but when I got off of work, I'd play a couple hours of God of War and go to bed. And yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah, in group chat, like Kurt and Joe and Wyatt are all raving about it. So I'm like, I want to be in this generation of consoles just to play cool games too. But
it's so cool.
It's whatever.
It's so cool.
It sounds awesome. I love God of War games too, and it's like, son of a bitch.
Like, I always liked God of War for the time because it was just over the top spectacle of what like the 2000s were, you know, and it was always ridiculous and. Fuck, I think it was when we played it, when we were living together. We played like 2, and it took us like an hour to climb out of hell because we kept fucking hitting Spike. It was just the worst. You know? But like, this is a real step forward in the idea of maturing a series through a reboot. Like everything that happened through Kratos is still there, and it weighs more on the story if you know, but you don't need to go in. And it's really a story about like a person with a very angry past and not wanting to pass that on to his son and changing what he is. And it's also super fucking cool when I was like, oh, this is what we're doing, game? We're fucking going to a bridge and we're putting the fucking Bifrost key in. We're traveling to other realms. Fuck yes. Because I'm a huge nerd for that.
Son of a bitch. I think you just sold me on it. I have to figure out a way to steal somebody's PS4. That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds great. Like, everything I've seen of it looks awesome. Like I said, that God of War aesthetic is just so me. It's awesome to see games getting to a level where they actually give a shit about the story and making a great game, and it's not just the same repetitive, like, fucking mash these buttons at this certain point to kill this cool big fucking things. That it's cool.
Yeah, it is. And like definitely that's what I always go into games for is story. It's been a slog for a long time, but like hitting a real nice renaissance lately.
It's really awesome to see how Tomb Raider did that reboot 5 years ago or so. Sure. And then like this following up, like the established franchises just going back and like starting over, but
like in smart ways. And like, you know, Tomb Raider was, I don't know, were the old Tomb Raiders ever good games, or was it just like, man, look at these giant polygon tits, let's do this? Yeah. And like
big puzzle games, yeah.
You know, and like so they actually made a really interesting, engaging like character piece out of this action game. So it was super cool. Like I never finished the second one just because I wasn't gaming at the time. I put like 4 hours in and stopped. Like I really liked that first reboot. Like it's really good.
Oh yeah, nice. Well, was there any news that you wanted to talk about the last few weeks? I can't think of anything really.
So here's basically what there is, okay? That I don't remember anything. Like I'm essentially going on social media blackout starting tonight because fuck anyone who tries to ruin anything about Infinity War for me.
Oh my god. Like, I saw the Infinity War trailer. As soon as I started the blackout at the beginning of April, I was like, this is genius. I'm so glad that I did this so I don't have to worry about anything getting spoiled. So
yeah, because I mean, at this point, I think the premiere is either tonight or tomorrow, and then embargoes are up the next day on reviews. And like, I'm seeing like online petitions from DC fanboys saying they're doing a twofold attack, and that's posting bad Rotten Tomato scores and spoiling it on every social media site they can. So fuck all those people. I'm done.
God damn.
I'm gonna make it till Friday, and I will kill all of you if I find anything.
I can't wait to see it Thursday night and just be like, oh my god, did you see it when blah, 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 blah.
I'll kill you. Because, like, at this point, I'm definitely contemplating how I can work until 10:30, catch a midnight showing, and be at work at 6 the next morning and still function. And I'm not sure I can do it.
That'd be rough. Because I don't think you could get out of... I don't think you're going to get out of Infinity War not sitting there in amazement. If it's as successful as I think it will be, like the amazement of the last 8 years coming together for this.
Like, so yeah, I'm holding off until Friday afternoon. I work the morning, I'm off at noon, I'm going. Second thing was right before we got on, I was popping on Reddit, and apparently leaked Venom trailers out there, and it shows Venom. No, thank you.
What's funny is it's Sony Venom, and like we've already seen that, and it's really all I want with Venom is his tongue, and I really don't think we're gonna get that even with Sony still.
Doesn't matter. Venom is
all Venom, all Carnage, all the time.
Apparently, in it at the end.
Nice.
Apparently, it's Woody Harrelson.
God damn it! What?
Does blow your mind?
Like, it feels like you're lying to me in the utmost respect. Like, you just want to ruin it for me? and like you're just picking names out of thin air. And then I'm gonna see Woody Harrelson in the trailer and be like, fucking stupid Hamish from goddamn those stupid Hunger Game movies.
Or the Kingpin from the Kingpin movies.
No. I'm not gonna throw good roles into that. Like, but yeah, God damn it, Sony! I just want a good Spider-Man movie or like a Venom movie, but I know it's not gonna happen.
Why though? Venom is not a good character to carry a movie.
I feel like the right story could give him the right gravitas, and like, I want to believe at the end of the day, Sony's not just making it to make money, but I know it's just a money grab. So,
considering how convoluted this whole like Spider-Man's in the MCU and this is in the Spider-Man universe, but never shall the two cross because Marvel won't let us, is like, why try? Just
and then as soon as Homecoming hit, they're like, no, it's totally same universe. And Marvel's like, you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth right now.
Because like everything like you're hearing with all these like set reports and rumors and stuff is like Tom Holland is in it for a scene as Peter Parker, but they're not allowed to reference Spider-Man, and it's just a big mess. Plus, remember how excited we were about that fucking Black Cat Silver Sable movie? That's been canceled already, and they're like, nope, guess that was a bad idea. It's like, get your shit together, Sony. Get your shit together.
I guess speaking of that, did you see the Fast and the Furious stuff?
Oh, it's a cartoon. They're making a cartoon for Netflix.
Oh, they are? I didn't see that. I saw that Rock and Diesel are just completely at ends with each other.
Well, there's that. The Hobbs and Statham spin-off movie got a director. It's the guy who did Atomic Blonde was co-director on John Wick. He's doing it, so that's super cool, and I'm in on that. And then today it was announced Netflix is doing a Fast and Furious cartoon.
Ridiculous. I'll see it for sure. Also, Statham in the Meg.
Oh my god! Fuck off, Avengers! The Meg is now my most excited movie of the year.
It was just a treasure trove of like random things that hit, and I was like, I can't believe any of this. Like,
did you watch the trailer?
I did not, but I've heard people speaking about it, and I'm like, maybe like I know I'm gonna see the movie, so I kind of don't want to, but like from what people are saying about the trailer, I'm like, maybe I should watch the trailer.
2, it's a giant shark, so of course I'm seeing this movie. 3, I've read the book it's based on.
Awesome. I'm super excited now. Does it come out this year?
Yeah, this summer.
Nice.
It's directed, I think, it's the dude who directed the National Treasure movies is doing it because Eli Roth dropped out for creative differences.
I love the just random things that are happening this year and the rabbit hole like we're planning on going down for everything. Like with Westworld, Legion, and Twin Peaks afterwards. Like, you understand the violent just twister of ridiculousness we're attempting to take on this year?
Yeah, whatever. I watch this shit all the time. This is nothing new for me.
I'm so looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it all, so party on.
Oh, and also, just because I was apparently bored and didn't want to catch up on Black Lightning, I watched the Karen Gillan, John Cho selfie TV show from like the late 2000s. 13 episodes. It's on Hulu. I got sucked in one day.
You're ridiculous. Yeah, that's why I love you.
Yeah.
Well, you want to get this train on the tracks back again?
Who
or
cares?
something.
We'll just
Who
burn it
cares?
down. Four
How
Charles.
awesome is Siren? Come on.
No, I am fucking this. This last episode, once they were dressed as cheerleaders and having a fight over going back in the water, I literally paused it, went, "What the fuck am I watching?" and had to walk out for a cigarette.
That was the part, like, I was fine with that. It was the part where the old lady used to be a mermaid. It's like, yeah, I kind of figured because you're selling mermaid crap.
Well, also, there was that whole part where, like, Rin had been out of the water so long and was starting to get fucking rashes and scaly, and the lady was just like, "You need to use the salve," and, like, her leg was showing and had the same thing, and I'm like, okay, you remember, oh, we're gonna wait this long to do the reveal? Gotcha. Fuck the show. Like, it took a hard left turn into Boring Town, and that's not good for a show about killer mermaids. Plus,
also, the sketch artists that the police employ are fucking terrible.
they're fucking spot on.
So bad.
Plus, one, the show, it keeps, like, one, we end the third episode where I'm like, oh, this couple is gonna have a threesome with this mermaid. This is happening. Then, like, no, we're gonna back up. We're not gonna be doing that. And then episode 4, you're like, oh, the show's over. Wait, there's 10 more. There's 10 episodes. What? Because everything's resolved by the end of the 4th episode.
Yeah, I was satisfied with it, but I guess they're sweeping up all the. I don't know. They got real dumb though.
It did. What's the government doing? They're making this big, like,
they're catching all the fish to drive them closer, like inland.
which, one, I understand. I also understand that's the dumbest plan in the world because 80% of the world is an ocean and they can go where the fuck they want. Plus, it sounds like they live fairly deep in the ocean where you wouldn't be able to trawl for fish, but whatever show. But I mean, like, they're making this huge deal out of, like, we need this mermaid and we need multiple mermaids. But why? Tell me what you're experimenting on it.
Tanks of mermaids.
You need to explain.
I'm waiting for the one dude to turn into a merman.
Like, the at one point, like, that bald Dr. Decker or whatever, he should have, like, been pulling a sample of its blood out and then turned around and accidentally injected a guy. And he was like, oh, I feel like you've cured my cancer. And then you're like, oh, now I see what we're doing here. But
yeah. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so are we done watching Siren?
Oh, no, it seems like it's fine enough. I'll keep up, but
we'll give it another episode.
There's only like 5 episodes left, so.
Oh, it is 10 episodes. I was thinking it was the 13 episode run that Black Lightning had, so okay.
No, but I mean, like, I could give up at any moment. But I mean, like, we're gonna find out in not next episode, but the episode after. We're gonna find out the dude's mom's a mermaid and he's part fucking mermaid or something.
She's in a wheelchair.
She's a mermaid. There's no way she's not a mermaid.
God damn it, that's so true. Son of a bitch, now I'm back in. Now I'm totally back on board. So get caught up on Siren because it's awesome, I guess, kind of, maybe.
So weird. I don't get it. It's. I'm just.
What show you should be watching though?
What show?
Goddamn Terror.
What one was that?
The Terror.
Oh yeah, you into it?
Dude, that show.
No.
It's something else. Like, when I watched the 3rd episode and they killed off that main dude, I was like, what is going on now? Like, I was like, fuck, you got me. I was so surprised that they killed him off. That is like, all right, let's see where this goes. And whatever creature bear that is.
Yeah, no, they did the Game of Thrones, right? They killed off who you think is one of the main characters pretty quick. But that scene was so fucking good, though. When, like, you're seeing him getting dragged across the snow and it's cutting back to, like, the interiors in Paris. And, like, so good. The show's so well made. That's...
Oh, yeah, for sure. for to, for what such a seemingly boring like ambiance and everything that's going on, like it feels like it's not gonna hold it together, but like there are actual moments that I caught myself holding my breath like for this last one where the whole bear attack, like I was like fuck. Like
See,
it gets intense.
And that's one of like when I was talking about like these great sequences that stood out from my mind from the book. Like that's one of them when the dude's like climbing the rigging and trying to get up the mast and jumping around trying to get away from this fucking bear.
Also, the brutality, like the brutal attacks, like that they're actually showing the claw through like the head, like the dude that's missing a quarter of his skull and everything like that, like
still alive. And you know, and also the playfulness of it, like cutting two people in half and putting two separate halves together to fuck with people. You know, it's fun. It's fun stuff.
It's okay. I was surprised that they showed the creature as much as they did. Like, I just want to see more of it now. There's some really good scenes, like even the flashbacks, like the denial of marriage. That whole like, so good. Like the actors on the show are incredible.
They're great. Plus, like Jared Harris is just doing his best drunk right now, and like, oh, he was sloppy last episode. Oh my, I'm excited to see him go.
He's the dude that's cutting himself off, like getting sober finally, right?
Yeah, he's going cold turkey this week. I'm gonna go through the DTs. It's gonna be real
I love
fun.
it. He's like, listen, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna get sober. Everybody has more responsibility. Plus, you got to take care of me.
Yeah, such a good scene too.
Yeah. So.
But then, you know, he also spends the whole episode before being like, hey, my second in command, I need you to go to the other ship and steal their whiskey. I need you to find me whiskey.
Did you know that dude stole a case of whiskey? He's like, we'll not have this.
Mutiny.
Mutiny.
Plus, there's just like, there's such great little moments throughout the episodes to kind of like show you how horrible this all is. Like, I want to say it's in the third episode when the captain's getting killed surprisingly out of nowhere, and Jared Harris puts like the spyglass up to his eye and it sticks to his fucking eyelid and rips off.
Oh yeah. They're like little moments like that. That's like, God, I don't want to see this anymore. But like, I'm so in that. Like, I couldn't escape if I wanted to. Just like
yeah.
that.
So, and it's interesting. Like, there's can't remember the one guy's name. Hickey and the other guy. The Hickey would be the one who got lashed after standing up to Jared Harris after kidnapping Lady Silence. And, you know, he's been sleeping with that other guy. Like, in the book, they were kind of just horribly gay caricatures. Like, they were just kind of evil gay men, and it was very one note. So it's interesting to see the show kind of course correct on that. He's still kind of smarmy, slick, evil character, but there's compassion towards certain stuff between it. Excuse me. Like when the one guy is afraid to go down in the hold because he thinks he hears the dead moving, and he's like, I'll do it for you and whatever. You realize there's some altruism there. He's trying to be nice, but you're also wondering why. Why is he trying to do these things and bring these people to his side, and what's going to happen here?
Yeah, it's nuts for sure.
Plus, I love that every episode, you feel more unsettled just through the camera work because everything's slanted and it's getting more and more precarious every episode. It's very unsettling just to see things not framed correctly. So,
yeah, they're doing a great job. Like driving home this feeling of hopelessness, like with everything that the acting and the shots and everything.
And it's kind of amazing that this is just all sets. Like, this is all just green screen sets. Every fucking shot.
Crazy.
It's good. It's good stuff. I like it.
So we're skipping Black Lightning for next week. So then, let's talk about Legion and how fun.
Which one was that? You're skipping?
Legion?
Oh, Legion's dumb.
Yeah, it is. Legion's fucking incredible.
It's really good. It's still really good. I'm surprised that it feels much more straightforward than the first season. Like, it's kind of outside of certain little points, it's a very cohesive, straightforward narrative. They're taking these little side jaunts into weird stuff, but the actual main story is very, very superhero-esque.
What's so funny about that is how the first season was it wasn't straightforward at all, but you could kind of tell what was lie and what wasn't. But this one is straightforward, but you don't know who to trust, even the main cat. I don't trust anybody whatsoever at any point.
Yeah, I mean, one, definitely don't trust the Shadow King, but David is, and it's very weird. I love the guy playing the Shadow King, though. He's so good. And their little tete-a-tetes they have in these past couple episodes are really good. I miss Aubrey Plaza, though. She's kind of on the sideline doing some stuff. I miss her. I also want Jermaine to come back, because I didn't get enough of him just
oh my god, when they were dancing and singing through the
Division 3 and just murdering people. Now, let's just take a step back and let's reflect on the fact that I'm like, this is pretty straightforward and not that weird, but there's also a dude who calls himself the Machine Who Bleeds, who's attached to women androids with mustaches who speak for him. So, still fucking weird, okay? It's just a little more straightforward.
Definitely pretty fucking weird. There's a lot of things happening off to the side that the whole creature crawling around. Are there multiple ones or is it just that one?
Well, and again, let's say, what is it actually a manifestation, or is it the embodiment of the idea? Because they explained to us in the first episode that it's a delusion. They're hitting home very hard with the imagery and the themes on delusion and making yourself sick. The illness isn't there, but if you believe it is, you become ill. Delusions aren't, you believe in this and changes everything. Which is why I think it's pretty straightforward. The problem they have in the future is David. It's very obvious to me, at least, that's where they're going with this.
I didn't even think that. I just figured he took care of the Shadow King, and then he met his demise somehow, and there was this bigger threat. But now thinking that David is the problem in the future, that's madness.
Okay, so here's where I get it. It's in the second episode, I think, when he meets future Sid for the second time, goes and talks to her. She doesn't say he's dead. He goes, "What, am I dead?" And she doesn't respond, but she does say, "I miss seeing you like this, how you were sweet."
Bitch.
And they say, we need the Shadow King to defeat this. She doesn't say, that David wasn't strong enough to defeat it, but that the Shadow King is someone who's very skilled in the way of defeating David and having power over him.
That's awesome.
I mean, I could be wrong. Could be 100% wrong, but that's where I'm sitting at right now.
I mean, it totally makes sense because they seem to have built this small playground with the limited amount of characters that they do have, and it seems like they're all driving forces. They're not adding additional people in at the 10th episode where surprise it was some bad guy we never even thought to think about, and it's like,
yeah,
oh, shit, that's so awesome. Fuck.
Also, plus, like, when they're talking in that, they say that they are trying to stop David from killing the Shadow King. Like, they need him to not be dead so they can fight this future threat. So it sounds like, and like the Monk and Division 3, they're all very minded of the idea that David is this weapon who needs to be used to destroy the Shadow King. That's his one purpose. And I just think that's kind of where we're going. But I don't know. It's interesting. I'm loving these little the John Hamm voiced interstitials about like mental illness. Like, they're fascinating to me right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious if they're going to become something more than just a way to kind of talk about the things. Because on one hand, it's fairly brazen to think that the people who watch Legion and have stuck with it this long aren't smart enough to pick up on your themes, that you're going to fucking have smooth voice John Hamm explain what you're trying to get across to me. But I'm curious if there's not something more to it. Like, if he's not actually,
We're going to hit on this point again after we talk about Westworld.
Okay.
So let's talk about Westworld.
Okay.
And how fucking insane that show is. Like, I'm disappointed that I slept on it for the first season for this long. But I also don't think I would have grasped everything that I did had I seen it prior to this.
You were like, because you spent the past year building yourself up to it?
Yeah. Like, the storytelling at this show is pure madness, because the storytelling is so, like, the character development is so incredible that last 2 episodes, like, it's just payoff. Like, it's constant payoff for almost 3 hours, and like, they're just little things that they set in motion, and like, it's such a beautifully orchestrated, like, domino fall, and like, once they start falling, it's incredible.
Sure. I caught none of that. I got a black screen and no sound, but
basically just saying, well, I'll go over again, but like, the last 2 episodes of the first season, like, you get such a beautifully orchestrated domino, like, setup that once the dominoes start falling, like, it's just such whimsically, beautifully, like, madness.
So I touched upon this on one of the few times, like, we kind of interact about stuff we're watching outside of the show, where I told you I feel the show is a little up its own ass and it thinks it's smarter than it is. Because, like, the whole thing is, like, the whole of the first season is predicated on the idea that you don't know that it's 2 separate timelines, right? And you get that big reveal, and they're like, "Oh, we've shocked you." But, like, I don't know how to say it without sounding conceited, and like, I'm so much smarter. Like, I was watching it, and I knew, okay, Jimmy Simmons' character is the Man in Black, and we're on 2 separate timelines. And I was able to figure that out like halfway through, so that I was watching the show at a different way. So it was the idea that, like, okay, show, I got there. Maybe that's the point you should have dropped this knowledge instead of waiting till the end, because at that point they're just kind of self-indulged in this mystery.
I think that adds to, like, then you go back and check all that stuff. Like, you see how it grew. And, like, I went into this knowing that there were separate timelines, and, like, it was kind of evident from the different times you see Dolores talking to Bernard, or whatever is Albert. But, like, I think I want to say there were 3 different timelines, and I think
there's a few.
Yeah. But, like, there were 2 main ones for sure, but, like, all of them are so interwoven so well that like it's character development for a lot of it, and then like they have all the dominoes set up and they just tip it over, and like everything just works so well.
It's good. I don't know. I'm really hoping that season 2 we're kind of like, let's get past this idea of fucking, you know, the Abram style mystery box. You know, I don't need to know what the fucking this maze that he's working for is, or these hits of mystery that you're trying to tease me along. I want to see a fucking robot uprising inside a fucking museum or amusement park, and I want to see fucking Shogun World, and fucking I want to see samurais fighting cowboys. And I know, fuck off. I haven't watched the premiere yet, but I hope the show stays as well written and character developed as it is, but it stops trying to be peak TV. I don't need everything to be prestigious. Like, I want a show about killer fucking robots that's just really well acted and written. Sorry, that's all I want.
Having seen the first episode of the second season, I believe you'll be delighted.
Good. Good.
So going back a few months ago when we watched Mute, and you hated it, but like I told you that there were elements of it that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, the pedophile
and, like,
part, right?
No, fucking having this mute guy like being
sure.
the antagonist, like little things like that. And like Westworld does this mishmash of like all these different things and does them so well, like bringing them together, like Ex Machina, Blade Runner, Inception. Like there's the Memento, and that was probably the thing that helped me with the timelines so much. Like wondering how they were cut. Like I figured it was like Memento that there were two separate lines and they were intermingled.
It's funny that you're like, it reminds me of all these things that were written by Nolan because he's the one who wrote this.
But like, yeah,
Like,
fuck you. But like, you get the moon and like Cabin in the Woods, like everybody behind the scenes, like orchestrating this big like payoffs and whatnot. But like, I love this show that it's doing this. And like, for me, Westworld is a perfect show because it's like that extended Blade Runner. And like, fuck, I want to talk about the first episode so much, but we'll talk about it next week.
Your poor mouth.
I know. But there's some really key things that they put in there that we'll talk about for sure next week. But like, it's got this discussion that I've been having with myself since Blade Runner, that like at some point we're going to develop AI, and at that point what constitutes something being real. And like, it's incredible, like taking this deep dive in like this character development, like where Blade Runner 2049 was just a perfect movie to me, and like gets all this thing concise and perfect and wonderful, like exploring all these things and like then cutting it apart like Tarantino or Nolan did with Memento, like just adds to it even more. Like, so you have that element, and like Legion is that next stepping stone, that where I think Legion is perfect for you, and like that's where I was talking about I want to get to that point. But the problem I have with Legion is it is completely about madness, that like as you try to figure it out, you're also twisting your mind to something completely maniacal. That is all like your borderline madness genius. Like, and like I think Twin Peaks is even going to push us even further into that. So like,
I'm glad you're digging into the guts of Westworld, because a lot of times during that first season I was like, ooh, they're playing Paint It Black on piano. That's really cool. Oh.
What's so funny is I caught a couple of those moments, and like I'd pause it, but it'd have all those quick trivias and whatever, and like most of them were the songs that were playing on the piano. Like it was great because Amazon really takes that shit to heart, and they're like, oh, the song that was being played was Nine Inch Nails and fucking Something I Could Never Have, and which is a great reflection on this episode, and blah blah blah. It's like, fucking calm down. It's just a cool fucking song. So
Played on an old timey piano. I'm cool with that.
But then it'll be interesting watch.
Oh, go ahead.
It'll be interesting watching this season because I think burning through it like I did, I was able to kind of get around all of that. Actually, stepping back and thinking about an episode for a week, so it'll be interesting next week to see what I thought of this first episode.
Sure.
So, but fucking, there's some reveals at the end of the first season, like you had a hint that, like, the fucking mermaid shit, like, things were happening, and you're like, all they have to do is tell me that I'm right, and I'll be fucking happy. And, like, Man in Black caught me off completely. Like, there was a hint, but I was like, nah, that's way too fucking, like, these timelines are way too divergent. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. And, like, he fucking murdered that whole group of people. I was like, that's gotta be the Man in Black. And plus, you hinted me with a text like that you wanted to talk about something like that. I was like, God damn it.
See?
So, like, I was looking, and I know you didn't want to do that, but, like, I kind of walked into it because I was so excited about the show at the moment.
Yeah, really, I was just making a very bad joke, and then I realized, oh, he probably took that as the Man in Black, and I probably took it.
Yeah, fucking, yeah, it's insanity. The whole the final showdown between not final, I guess, but the Man in Black and Dolores, like, is fucking. You get 8 episodes deep, and you're like, man, I really have empathy for these goddamn robots that are just killed over and over and over again. And she's like, well, you're gonna die at some point, and we're still gonna be around. I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I feel. So fuck you and all your stupid faces. I hope you all burn.
No, it's funny because, like, anyone who's like, I'm not really sure that, you know, this is realistic, that people would go there and just start killing and raping. And I'm like, have you ever played a game online? Like, that's what this is a big interactive real world video game. And that's exactly what people would do. I'm surprised there's not 12-year-olds running around screaming the N-word at these fucking robots, you know, like, considering how I've interacted with people who were able to live out these base fantasies, control and assertion in it, and being anonymous online, and you're like, dude, I'm just trying to have fun.
Buckle up, because season 2 is insane. Just kids running around the N-word everywhere.
I'd believe it. Like, that would be the most realistic, like, white privileged fucking 12-year-olds.
Did you see the trailer for season 2?
I did, yes.
Okay, so you know that the timeline is going into the future, it seems, right?
I did see a shot that showed, like, Dolores out in the real world, so I'm assuming...
Yeah, that's the shot I was talking about.
Yep, so I'm assuming we're doing different timelines again, and we're sticking with that. Listen, okay? It's a fucking Nolan jam. There's going to be disparate timelines. It's what he does.
So is this Nolan Nolan's brother?
And it's the one who wrote... Yeah, and he's co-wrote, like, almost all of Nolan's movies.
Son of a bitch!
You know, Memento is based on his short story, and then he wrote the screenplay for it. Yeah, it's Nolan's brother.
All right. I saw his name, like, for one of the featurettes after I got done watching, like, the whole thing. I was like, that better not be goddamn that Nolan.
Close enough. But, like, I think that's also something that kind of, like, I'm so familiar with, like, the themes that he tries to hit on in his writing and how he writes, that it's pretty obvious to see that we're doing separate timelines and we're doing this. You know, it's not hard when someone, no matter how good your writing may be, you kind of do the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And that's what I was talking about with Mute. Like, it gets refined to a point where you finally knock it out of the park where it should be. Like, Dennis Villeneuve is on that point with his movies right now that I'm so excited to see.
Fuck off. God,
Listen,
no.
I'm telling you,
Christopher Nolan.
awesome.
Christopher Nolan's on that point.
See, and this is why I enjoy this, because like we both have our faves that like I can't fault you for it. He's a great cinematographer, but I really think it's his brother that's writing I love so much more.
Whatever, man. No, I agree with you. Fuck Interstellar. It's not a good movie. Everything else is.
Also Dunkirk. The hell with that movie.
Oh, go fucking suck a tailpipe.
All right. So, are we gonna watch the first 2 episodes of Westworld for next week then?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as soon as I'm done here, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna play God of War. But within the next 2 days, I'm gonna watch Westworld. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about it some more. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see the waiting the week for the new episode and like actually having time to ruminate on these episodes.
Like on season 1, I'm fairly certain HBO did like a free preview for the premiere. So I watched the premiere and then I waited until the season was done to watch it straight through. But like that was like the beginning of 2017. Like it's been over a year since I watched season 1.
Yeah, because it was 2016 that first thing came out, right?
Yeah, it was like October to December 2016 was the original run.
Because they took off last year because they knew they'd have the break for Game of Thrones.
I think like they're just fucking slow. Like HBO is not pushing anything fast. So.
So I think that's going to do it for the TV show aspect.
Are you the magic man?
Dude, Legion is something. I'm so excited to dive in that insanity. Like for real, I wanted to watch those. I wanted to watch those episodes so bad, but I was like, no, I need to have my own time. I just sit back, relax, and just enjoy them. And this is exactly what I did.
One, my favorite part was like I watched the premiere with Hannah, and it got to the end, and like I'm like, okay, it finished. We're back. Legion's back. And she was like, she looked at me and she goes, I didn't understand any of that. And I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah. I watched that first episode twice, and I was like, all right, I got you. I'm on board.
2, I really wish at some point like we hadn't had this extended break that we did, because I had this entire thematic coupling of everything we watched that week, which was very cool.
Dude, it really got nuts. For sure.
Because like, so it was season 1 or episode 1 of Legion, season 3 of or episode 3 of The Terror, and The Quiet Place, which were all 3 things that put high emphasis on silence and the use of no sound. And like I had this very big dissertation about how they all melded together.
Well, now you have your notebook, so I'm looking forward to those discussions in the future.
Yeah, it's interesting because like Legion, that first episode, the last act of that first episode is her fucking writing to him. Like we're not talking, we're writing. Mm-hmm. And Quiet Place obviously is quiet, and like The Terror, there's literally a person named Lady Silence on it, and it's these extended takes of silence that extend the terror because something's happening. It's this use of how we can move away from very expository dialogue heavy things, yet still get these
which is crazy because The Terror, like, they have those 4-month breaks, but could you imagine like a huge attack like that creature fucking climbing up the mast and like killing people and like just going that, and then 4 months later like being fucking afraid for those 4 months of just waiting to die, basically.
Yeah, or waiting for your fucking teeth to explode because it's so cold.
That fucking there's too much that can happen in that show that scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. Or, we're just going to have this casual conversation as the doctor's cutting my frostbitten toes off. Ugh.
It like that show is something else for sure.
It's good. It's good stuff.
You ready to talk about our movies?
Sure. Let's run through some movie stuff.
How bad was Blockers?
It was really good.
You're a son of a bitch.
I can't believe you.
Are you lying to me?
No.
There's no way you like Blockers. That movie was trash.
No, it was really good.
Shut your mouth.
It's really.
There's no way you're telling the truth right now.
It is a very smart, progressive take on gender dynamics and sexual equality that I think is profoundly smart and innovative for a studio comedy to go for. That is like, it's really impressive.
Fuck you for having a great rebuttal to my. There's no way.
That said, I don't think it's a very funny movie. Like, I think there's some parts in it that are kind of chuckle-worthy and there's some charm to it. But no, it's just the idea of we're going to upend this and we're going to talk about, like, how fucking ridiculous it is that this is okay for men but not for women. Why? And the idea that not a single one of the boyfriends is a shit person. You know, they're all genuinely nice dudes who let the women make the decision. No one's getting pressured into sex. This is all. It's very forward thinking in a way that you don't see acknowledged nowadays. And I think that's really cool.
I think about 10 minutes into the movie, you remember when we saw Say Anything in Omaha? Possibly. And we were like mid-20s and everybody else was teenagers. That movie made me feel exactly like that. Like, I wasn't old enough to have kids, and I wasn't young enough to give a shit about high school. So it was just this middle, like, I was like, I'm here, I guess. I like your take on it, though. I don't hate that I saw this movie now.
But you hated it for the past 2 weeks that I didn't say that.
Totally did. I was like, I can't wait to just tear it to him for his bad decision making. Fuck, you got me. Touche.
Yeah.
I'm even more upset now that you got me. But
yeah, I'm like, I don't think it's super funny. Unfortunately, like, I'm still having problems with comedies at this point. There's some chuckles in it, but like, no, a lot of it's really sweet and endearing. And like, I think like the Ike Barinholtz arc with him not wanting his daughter to sleep with the dude due to peer pressure, thinking that's what she needs to do because he knows she's probably gay, and then her coming out to him. It's all very sweet and works. And yeah.
No, I'm on board with you. Like, you nailed it, man. I just didn't think it was funny, and like that's what ate at me. I was like, why would people choose this over Game Night? Game Night was actually a little funny.
I think I like this better than Game Night, so fuck all y'all.
Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, okay? I would rather watch John Cena be weird any day of the week than watch Jason Bateman sleepwalk through another movie.
All right, I'll give you that point as well. It's fair.
Boom! I'm just knocking down these points.
I'm not a fan of you just knocking that down like that. Oh, son of a bitch!
This is what happens when like I don't fully take notes and make coherent thoughts, but I'm allowed to think about something more than like 24 hours. I can make these points succinctly, occasionally.
It's fair. I really should have led with I hated this movie. I don't think you're good at making choices, and we'll fucking discuss this next time you have them. Son of a bitch! I'm just distraught at this point. So, did you like Rampage?
There wasn't enough rampaging.
That's fair. It's very accurate. Did you enjoy it though?
I don't think so. I'm not. I have a problem with a lot of it. what do I want? How do I want? What do I want to say? First of all, I find it super disconcerting to the point that it took me out of the movie for a good chunk of it. That every time we're in the bad guy's fucking penthouse, there's a Rampage arcade cabinet behind them. And I was like, wait, is Rampage real? And now this is really happening? Like, what is going on? It broke my head.
Yeah, that was like, I was like, that's a very odd choice. Very odd choice for, I guess.
Because, like,
whatever.
If they're doing it, they should have been like getting a report fucking in their fucking office and have been like, there's a giant fucking gorilla named George, and now there's a wolf that people on the internet are calling Ralph, and he should have been like, oh my god, and did like a slow pan to his arcade machine.
Yeah, it would have been great if he was just playing it and like just kind of not listening to his sister, and then like they start naming him is like, what? I was like, at least we don't have a giant lizard, and then it just starts crawling up the building.
Yeah, like it's just really weird. It's a weird choice that really bothered me. Like physically bothered me that they would do that.
No, I was there too. Like
that's like
it was
that
just
would
too
be
odd.
like that would be like if in Spider-Man Homecoming someone was playing the Maximum Carnage fucking SNES game. It just doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't work.
Yeah, for sure. That being said, I did dig this movie.
I'm sure you did. It's big smash 'em up. Like, why wouldn't you like it? You know what the other problem I have is? And this could be on myself. This could be on me for thinking the movie might do something interesting at a point. The Rock gets shot straight. He gets fucking gut shot, right? And then next time you see him, he's all like, it's okay. Missed all my vital organs. You're like, no, you got shot in that lab. They should have had another thing of the serum laying around, and you took it, and then you're going to start punching giant monsters, because that's what I need in my life.
Oh, that would have been incredible.
Instead, it's this really weird thing of, like, these giant fucking monsters, and the Rock's just, like, running around the size of their toenail trying to distract them. Very odd.
Also, the airplane off the building, kind of, as it just smashes. I was like, that
ain't gonna work. And also, I almost forgot this point, but let's not. Like, you can't have a movie that is all fucking silly jokes and the monsters and you know the monkeys flipping the Rock off and talking about fucking with him because this is Amy 2.0 from Congo. You can't have all that and then try to evoke 9/11. You're not allowed to do that movie.
All right, you went way too far. You need to back it up. I understand your critical thinking of shit. Just relax a little bit. I didn't get invoked with 9/11, but like
when they're riding that helicopter down, a giant skyscraper falls, dust clouds go out.
Damn it! I wanted to start this whole conversation with Jet Fuel Campbell. Fucking son of a bitch. That's a missed opportunity. Very high missed opportunity. Jet fuel doesn't burn steel. Fuck.
But yeah, I mean, you can't all of a sudden show people running around in hair covered in the dust of a fucking skyscraper that fell. Like, you're not allowed to do that.
Touche. I give you that point as well.
Because one, like, we get it, and it's like, no, don't. But like, if there's a goddamn 5-year-old in that movie, and they'd be like, what's going on with that? And you got to explain 9/11 to a child, like.
Well, technically, it was 16 years ago.
I know. So these people probably forget. I know that our generation will never forget. We will never forget. But this Twitter generation, they've moved on already. They want to know what Kanye's talking about. They don't care about buildings burning.
Yeah, loose change.
No, it's just weird. because they definitely done that. It's a very hard whip. Like they tried to evoke something with that, and yeah, it's shorthand. You know, it's visual language. Everyone knows this. It's a quick way, but like, why are you trying to get that? Like, don't, just don't. And
I
also,
almost
like,
wish I would have seen it in the theaters with you and just been like, when you heavy eye rolled your in the theater, I would be like, never forget.
I've come to the horrible realization that like my eye rolls are getting very dramatic and emphatic. Because, like, at this point, like, someone called me on it at work this weekend. A guest was like, I saw that eye roll. And I was like, yeah, you probably did. So.
I can believe that. I can believe that wholeheartedly.
Oh, anyway. I really like... The Rock is always charismatic. I'm not sure he has a range as an actor outside of, you know, like, I'm The Rock and I'm going to be The Rock. But like,
did you see Jumanji?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
But the point I'm making is I have never, ever in my life seen that man have any sexual chemistry with anyone. The closest was Vin Diesel in Fast 5.
You're not wrong.
So when they're all like, yeah, you're going to smash, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, no, you're not. You are like, you're a Ken doll. You do not have anything going on because like you are so asexual. Like he is more asexual than I was in my mid-20s. It's very odd.
I am such a fan of this conversation and where it went. I love that even Negan and him were flirting, and it was like, you guys, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, and that's sad. Like, I always feel like Jeffrey Dean Morgan is so good that he just kind of like, I don't know what it was, but he just kind of got passed over, right? Like, he never got that role, but like, he's so good in like almost anything you see him in that it's sad.
I like. So on to the main attraction, though. You definitely liked Quiet Place, right? What?
What?
No way. You had to have loved it.
I didn't. It's okay.
I'm distraught even more. I absolutely loved it. I really wish I would have been able to catch it a second time, but
my problem, I think, with it is that it's such a high concept thing that you either go with it or you can't. So like I had problems going with it to where like motherfucker, everything makes sound. Like I'm sorry, but like walking, your pants rubbing together, breathing, it makes sound. Like there's a door falls at one point and this fucker's like 17 miles away and it's like, what was that? And goes for it. So if it's that or Emily Blunt's 2 feet away from it, breathing kind of heavy, like that fucking thing's gonna hear it. So, two, like, I feel that they should have had all their children killed because the idea, listen, okay, might be harsh, but like,
I love it. In this creature film, like your kids are setting you up for failure. You might as well just do yourself a favor and just next the kids.
One, that's absolutely true. And two, they are such selfish fucking people that they should have had all their children murdered. Like, you live in a world and you understand that you live in this world where these monsters are going to fucking hunt you by sound. So what do? You're like, I need to get my dick wet and oops, we had a baby. Like,
yeah, no. To console that you lost a child to these monsters, let's fucking have another kid. Where
and the fact
having a baby is the least, like, the most amount of problems you could introduce to your life.
Yeah, no, like, listen, okay, might be in poor taste to say, but like, the moment she was like, I miss, like, she'd be falling down them basement stairs. Like, there ain't, you like.
I love this conversation. I had no idea it was gonna go here. I'm glad it did though.
Like, I'm just being pragmatic because, like, there is no way that you should bring, like, that is the worst possible thing you could do. A baby is never going to be quiet. A small child, like they had, is problem enough because they don't have the cognitive capacity to kind of understand why you're telling them to be quiet. You know, you tell a kid to be quiet, they're going to shut up for 2 seconds and start being loud again because they don't understand the idea of danger and why you're trying to get them to do this. But that's bad enough. But a fucking child who you have no way of communicating with or doing it, like, I'm not wrong that they essentially were going to drug that baby and hide it in a casket until it was cognitive, right? Like, it's so bizarre. Like, I'm not sorry. So, but no, it's just it's inherently like weird. Like, if we were to stop talking right now and just breathe, like, you would hear us breathing. Like, and these things are so super powered hearing, but they can't fucking hear that. It implies that, like, sound is the enemy, but they don't imply where the definitive line is on what they can hear. So it's very, because, you know, they say there's 3 in the area. In this area where we live, in, you know, the miles of town or whatever, there's 3 of these creatures. But when she blows that shotgun off in the end, all of a sudden you see like 70 of them. They're just fucking plowing in. And you're like, did they fucking, like, hear it 200 miles away? Like, what the fuck? You need to explain. 2, like people snore. Like, pooping makes noise. Farting. Like, there is no way that, like, you could function within the boundaries of the reality that this world has set up. So fuck off. Like, I don't know.
I think I went into this movie knowing it was going to be very artsy, and I just set myself up for that. Like, that I was just along for the ride the whole way.
Sure.
I thought it was very smart that they had this family that already were signing to each other, that were able to exist in this reality. The reveal that the kid is deaf later, like, was just impressive to me. Like, I saw an interview where the director guy, John Carrera, whatever his last fucking name is, that's the one. It was like a love letter to his children, and like what lengths he would go to protect them. I was like, I mean, you're making way more sense than he did in that interview. Definitely kill all your kids.
Well, like, I definitely think it's very simple to see why Krasinski and Blunt were drawn to this material. You know, look at it as a parable, right? These ever-present monsters who are trying to catch you doing something is the paparazzi chasing after this famous people trying to raise their children. Like, it's there, you know.
I'm blown away by the stuff that you bring to the table. Like, never in a million years would I have drawn that line, but yeah, that makes so much sense.
But I don't know. It's fine. It's inherently fine. You know, it's a bland creature design that all creatures kind of look the same and have for the past 10 years. Like, you know, it's essentially signs to a degree. You know, like, small family marred by tragedy hiding in a cornfield while an alien invasion happens, and then the aliens are taken down by a very simple thing that probably shouldn't take them down. Sure, it's signs.
Yeah, but signs with water, and that was stupid.
Yeah, but also, like, I hear real good, but no one thought to try and attack me with sonic devices. When we live in a world where American ambassadors are being attacked by sonic waves in Cuba that has permanently damaged their brain and no one knows how, you're telling me that we couldn't make a fucking feedback loop to attack these monsters?
No fucking. I've never ever heard that, and
Well, you
Never
haven't
thought
heard
it'd be
about the
on this one.
Sonic attacks in Cuba?
No.
Fucking follow politics, my friend. Weird shit's happening.
Nailed it. Son of a bitch, me.
But
yeah, it's wild.
There's it's interesting. There's some good stuff in it. It's competently made. It's just these little details that I'm like, no, sorry.
That's fair.
Like where the fuck they get all that sand? Where's all the sand coming from?
I did not see the show turning out like this. We're just completely flopped on these three.
And also, walking on sand makes noise. I've walked on sand before. It crunches.
Nonsense. You're a Judas.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
So that's wild. So what are we watching for next week then?
I'm assuming most of next week is going to be TVs and then just Avengers. I probably think because there's only two ways that Avenger goes, and that it's super awesome and we blow it for an hour, or something went wrong and I'm going to argue and be mad for an hour.
Because we know I'm going to love it regardless, because I haven't seen anything. Like, I go in and I'm like, oh, fuck yes, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which I do most of the time. Sure.
I mean, they've hit it out of the park with the last few ones, so I have high hopes.
Haven't. Shut your whore mouth.
Guardians? Oh, yeah, you hated that.
I didn't hate it, but it's still, not out of the park.
But, I mean, Guardians was the same way, and Spider-Man, you still found things to hate about it.
I didn't find things to hate. I like Spider-Man more than I like Guardians, for sure.
I
feel like...
It's fair. But
it's just been a minute.
Russo brothers, so...
It is, and it's been a minute since they've done that oh shit thing, you know? It felt like they went
high. That you're trying to keep your expectations low, so you can be. I'm like, no, I want to set them as high as I possibly can because I know they're going to clear it.
We'll see. There's a very big chance that this could be a giant mess. Let's
not say that. I hope not.
Well, think of how much Civil War could have been a mess, but they managed to pull it off, and you're not quite sure how. This is 70 times bigger.
What if, because of everything we're watching and everything's fucking innuendos and crisscrossing past, it's such a smart movie that we ended up hating, and halfway through the year, we start finally putting the pieces together and fuck, that's brilliant.
I don't think that'll happen. Maybe for you, but not me. If I hate it, there's gonna be a fucking reason why I hate it.
I have high hopes for it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely just come out and be like, the theater was packed and I was smushed between two smelly dudes and it made me hate the movie. I've had that happen before, so kind of hoping it's not.
I think you're gonna come to the show next week and you'll be like, listen, I didn't hate it. It wasn't great. It was good. And then I'm just gonna talk for an hour of why it was so great.
We'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
I'm excited. Fuck yeah. Party time.
Yeah.
So we'll see you then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peace out.
Huzzah.
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 Oh yeah, and you were gonna go to those couple indies, so we'll see you next week.
Pineapple.